In the summer of 1914, a single gunshot in Sarajevo changed the course of human history forever. The young man who pulled the trigger was just 19 years old. His name was Gavrilo Princip. To some, he was a hero of freedom. To others, a terrorist who unleashed 4 years of destruction that killed millions. This is the story of the boy whose bullet started World War I. The early 1900s was a world on edge. Europe was divided into great empires: the Austro-Hungarian Empire, the German Empire, the Ottoman Empire, and the Russian Empire. Each had ambitions, each had enemies. Bosnia, where Gavrilo Princip was born, was a troubled land. Once part of the Ottoman Empire, it was taken over by Austria-Hungary in 1908. This angered many Serbs and Slavs who dreamed of creating a single nation, Yugoslavia, a union for all South Slavic peoples. Nationalism was rising. Hatred towards Austrian rule was deep. And into this storm, a boy named Gavrilo Princip was born. Gavrilo Princip was born on July 25, 1994, in a small village called Obzaj in Bosnia. His family was poor, his father was a postman, and life was harsh. From an early age, Princip witnessed poverty, struggle, and the heavy hand of foreign rule. As a teenager, he moved to Sarajevo for schooling. But the sight of Austro-Hungarian soldiers marching through the streets filled him with anger. He joined radical student groups and soon became part of a secret underground network fighting for Serbian nationalism. In 1912, Princip traveled to Belgrade, Serbia. There he connected with revolutionaries and was introduced to the Black Hand, a secret Serbian military organization. Their motto was simple: unification or death. Princip was young, determined, and ready to die for the cause. By 1914, Europe was like a powder keg, waiting for a spark. That spark came when Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, announced his visit to Sarajevo on June 28, 1914. To the Empire, it was a routine political visit. To the Serbs, it was an insult. June 28th was a sacred day in Serbian history, the anniversary of the Battle of Kosovo, a day of national pride and mourning. For Princip and his comrades, this was fate. They decided to strike. A group of 6 young conspirators, armed with pistols and bombs supplied by the Black Hand, positioned themselves along the route of Franz Ferdinand's motorcade. The morning of June 28th was tense. As the royal couple's car passed, one conspirator threw a grenade, but it bounced off and exploded under the wrong vehicle, injuring several people. Chaos erupted. Ferdinand insisted on visiting the wounded in the hospital. His driver, confused by a wrong turn, suddenly stopped the car, right in front of where Gavrilo Princip was standing. It was destiny. Princip stepped forward, pulled out his pistol, and fired 2 shots. One bullet struck Franz Ferdinand. The other hit his wife, Sophie. Within minutes, both were dead. Princip was immediately seized by police. Crowds beat him as he was dragged away. At the police station, he proudly declared his deed. Because he was under 20, he was too young to receive the death penalty. Instead, he was sentenced to 20 years in prison, the maximum punishment allowed. In prison, Princip suffered terribly. Malnourished and weak, he developed tuberculosis. Shackled, beaten, and half-starved, he wasted away. On April 28, 1918, at just 23 years old, Gavrilo Princip died in prison. But the consequences of his act were far greater. Austria-Hungary, outraged by the assassination, blamed Serbia. Backed by Germany, Austria issued an ultimatum. Serbia, backed by Russia, refused to fully comply. On July 28, 1914, exactly 1 month after the assassination, Austria declared war on Serbia. Within weeks, all of Europe was dragged into conflict. The First World War had begun. Over 4 years, more than 20 million people died. Entire empires collapsed. The world was never the same. Hero or terrorist? Even today, Gavrilo Princip remains one of history's most controversial figures. To Serbs and many Slavs, he was a freedom fighter, a boy who struck against imperial oppression. To Austria and the Western powers, he was a terrorist who murdered a royal couple and unleashed a nightmare upon the world. In Sarajevo, the very street corner where the shots were fired is now a historical site. Some monuments honor him, while others condemn him. Princip himself once said, "I am a Yugoslav nationalist, aiming for the unification of all Yugoslavs. I do not care what form of state, but it must be free from Austria." Princip did not live to see the end of the war. He did not live to see Yugoslavia formed after 1918, but his act changed history forever. A single moment, a single trigger, turned the dreams of a teenager into the bloodiest war the world had ever seen. Was he a hero? Or was he a murderer? Perhaps he was both. What is certain is this: Gavrilo Princip, a poor boy from a small Bosnian village, proved that even the smallest hand can shape the destiny of nations. The story of Gavrilo Princip is the story of how one person can ignite the fire of history. A bullet in Sarajevo became the first shot of World War I, and the echo of that shot still shakes the world today. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more detailed historical documentaries.